All right, guys, welcome to math today. You should have opened this document as a PDF in Notability, and hopefully you know how to do the split screen so you can listen, watch me go over this, and be doing it at the same time. So this is your study guide for a quiz that you're going to have tomorrow, maybe? Yeah, I think tomorrow. So what will happen is that you will come into school and we'll make sure everybody feels good about this study guide, and then you guys will start the quiz. Notice that this is front and back only, just 2 questions, and the quiz will be the exact same, just 2 questions, okay? And again, we're focusing on those conversions and percent of values. So we'll walk through these together, and then we'll make sure everybody's ready for the quiz. So let's tackle this first question. Tim participates in the high jump on his school's track team. At the start of the season, his height of his jump was 2 meters. By the middle of the season, Tim increased the height of his jump by 8%. Tim and his track coach set a goal for the height of his jump to be 7.5 feet by the end of the season. And then we have this conversion, 1 meter equals 3.281 feet. So that's going to be the conversion, that's going to be our base conversion. So remember, we talked that I don't particularly care which direction you go. Do you convert first? Do you convert last? What's your strategy? Okay, so again, I'm going to give you what I would do, and then if you had chosen something different on the quiz, it's fine as long as I can see your work, right? And I can figure out what you guys were doing, what your attack was. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find 8% of 2 meters. So I'm going to do 0.08 times 2. And I'm going to get 0.16. Okay, so I'm going to add the 0.16 to get 2.16 meters, and this is the middle of the season. Remember, we label stuff so we can keep track of what we actually did. So my first thing was to find 8% of that. So now I know what his current jump is, okay? Tim and his track coach set a goal for the height of his jump to be 7.5 feet. Okay, so notice that this is in feet, this is in meters. Now we have to do a conversion. So we need to figure out how many meters is in 7.5 feet. So that's going to be my conversion. So 1 meter equals 3.281 feet. So how many meters, because that's what we're trying to find, how many additional, what is the conversion of feet to meters in 7.5 feet? So I'm going to loop-de-loop, and I'm going to get 3.281x equals 7.5, because 7.5 times 1 is 7.5. And then I'm going to divide by 3.281. Get my phone calculator out here to help me out. 7.5 divided by 3.281 equals 2.29 meters. So this is his goal at the end of the season. So this is where he is now at the middle of the season, this 2.16, and this is his goal at the end of the season. So in order to figure out how many additional meters Tim needs to increase the height, I'm going to subtract these two. So 2.29, that's my goal, minus 2.16, that's a weird 6, isn't it? That's his current, right at the middle of the season. So now I'm going to subtract these, and he needs 0.13 meters to reach his goal. So our solution is going to be that Tim needs 0.13 meters to reach his goal, 7.5 feet. Right, and again, we're talking about a high jump. You guys can picture that, right? Where they like run up to the mat and they kind of jump up and they're back and they arch and then they fall down on that cozy mat. Okay, so that's what he's trying to do. So that would be our answer for number 1. Yes, it took some time. Yes, it's a process, but you just figure out a plan and you work yourself around it. Again, if this was the quiz and you had done something totally different, but you still got this answer, I'm happy with that. So now let's take a look at the back. Okay. We've got Kelsey here participating in the 200 IM. Those of you that are swimmers know that's what individual medley is, the 200 IM, which she must use each of the 4 strokes, one for each leg of the race, right? So if you're a swimmer, you know it goes butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle. And so she's swimming all of these 50 yards. Or does it say yards or meters? It doesn't. But anyway, she's swimming each of these for the same distance. So we're trying to figure out how long in minutes did it take her to finish the race. Okay, so we know for butterfly, which is one of the strokes, it took her 45 seconds. Okay. Backstroke, it tells us, is 90% of the time it takes her to do a breaststroke, but we don't, oh, and then we have the breaststroke right here. So backstroke is going to be 90% of this 72 seconds. So we're going to do 72 times 0.9 because it was based on the breaststroke. 63, 64, 64.8 seconds is going to be backstroke. They tell us that the breaststroke is 72. Right. And then freestyle is 85% of the time it took her to do backstroke. So for freestyle, we're going to go back to what we found out for backstroke and take 85% of that. So remember, backstroke was 64.8. And then the decimal equivalent of 85% is 0.85. Guys, remember, use a calculator, okay? Obviously, I didn't use one here because that's faster for me to just do it than get out my calculator. But here, I'm going to use my calculator. 64.8 times 0.85 is 55.08. So when I tell you to show me your work, I want you to show me what you put into your calculator, okay? There seems to be some confusion there. So this is how long it took her to do each part of the 200 individual medley. So in order to get her combined time, we're going to add these. 45 plus 64.8 plus 72 plus 55.08. Remember, we put in those 0 placeholders so that everything lines up. I'm going to get out my calculator for this one too. 45 plus 64.8, oops, plus 72 plus 55.08. And I get 236.88. Okay, but I'm not done yet because this is seconds, right? And it asks for how many minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to use this conversion. And we know 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So how many minutes in 236.88 seconds? This kind of looks sloppy right here. 236.88. So I'm going to do my loop-de-loop. 60x equals 236.88, right? Because 60 times x, 1 times 236.88, divide by 60. X is going to be 3.95 minutes, right? Because I actually get 3.948 when I divide it, but we're going to round up, right? So that's going to be 3.95 minutes. So then I'm going to say, all right, well, how long did it take her? My solution is it took Kelsey 3.95 minutes to complete the race. Right? We got to go back to our original question, and our solution has to have, so I know, you know, everybody knows what that 3.95 stands for. Okay, so again, your quiz is tomorrow. It's going to be very similar to this study guide. So you come up with a plan, you work yourself around the questions. Again, going to say it again. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care your process. As long as it makes sense and it's correct, I'm happy. Okay? All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.